upset of the NFL week was the Kansas City Chiefs against the Detroit Lions. Even though that they're playing in Kansas City, the Detroit Lions should win that game. Griff's upset of the week would be if the Carolina Panthers were to beat his Dallas Cowboys. It would be very surprising to a whole lot of people, not only disappointing to him and the Cowboys fans, which actually will kind of weigh itself out because, many Cowboys non-fans would only take a little bit of enjoyment in that L. So those are the two upsets of the week. Baby. Bonsoir, comment ça va? Greetings and what's cracking, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. Today is Tuesday, October the 14th, 2025. Bonsoir, comment ça va? I'm Drew, and welcome to an exciting episode of the NCAA and the NFL. Man, there is a lot of exciting games in Week 6 of the NFL and Week 7 of the NCAA, and a lot of hearts were broken, and a lot of seasons were saved. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an interesting show, an exciting show to talk about all of these games. But at the very top of the hour, I want to do a couple of things. One, pay all of the admin bills, right? So thank you to all of you that are joining us on tonight's episode from TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube live on each one of those platforms. Please join the conversation. We look forward to the engagement. But more importantly, today is a special day, the day that the Lord has made for us all, and to praise Him. Secondly, to give a special heartfelt shout out to the Queen Bee herself, Miss Kim, who celebrated her born day 21 years ago, or 21 years old again. happy blessed birthday to you, my love. I love you. And even though the day has come to an end for the most part, hopefully it was a blessing for you and whatever activities that God had put on your heart today. So continued blessings, many more to you. You can only be 21 once or twice, or maybe even 3 times if you're that kind of a special person. But enjoy that special recognition. My brother Griff, man, it was a great weekend of football. A little bit of heartache for you, I understand. We'll talk about that a little later. But how are you doing on this fine Tuesday evening, sir?
Hey, my brother, as always, man. I look forward to jumping on here after a great weekend of football. My Alabama did what they were supposed to do, but the other team, as the preview or as the intro said, the upset of the week for me was watching my Cowboys get destroyed. Watching Rico Dowell bagging up exactly what he said. So, man, looking forward to having this conversation. See what Taylor got to say. And let's get at it, brother.
Let's get into it, man. There were a lot of big games this weekend, and this game for me was the game of the weekend. This was the Sunday night game between the Detroit Lions, coming into this game having lost just one game, right? They lost their season opener to the Green Bay Packers, but then reeled off 4 straight wins, hanging 40 plus on each one of their opponents. And when we talked about this game on Friday, I said that I was a little confused as to why a 2-3 team would be favored, even though they are the home team, even though they are the defending AFC champions. I was a little perplexed as to why Vegas on Monday of last week, not late week based off of injury, but on Monday of last week, predicted that Kansas City was going to be favored, predicted that Kansas City should win this game. I said this was going to be my upset of the week because I honestly believe that the Detroit Lions were the better team coming into Sunday night. They were the better team leaving Sunday night. It's just that this was that game, I guess, for the Kansas City Chiefs to reignite their season after coming off of that win against Baltimore and then that L against the Jaguars on Monday Night Football to kind of get their footing again. I was surprised by this outcome. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. The Detroit Lions did not have the offensive punch that I thought they were going to have coming into this game because the Kansas City Chiefs were not a defensively stout team thus far in 2025. But they defended home field like you're supposed to defend home field. Defend this house. You picked the Lions, I believe you did. Yeah. How surprised were you with Patrick Mahomes proving once again that, hey, I am still that dude?
I was truly surprised, man, in this game right here. I mean, we know how hurt the Chiefs been all year as far as missing key players and stuff like that. The
Mm-hmm.
defense, the lack of in the last few weeks, man. But again, being at home is something about being at home is something different, man. I would say I don't want to take nothing away from the Chiefs win. They played an excellent game. Patrick Mahomes looked like Patrick. He was out there, Patrick Mahomes. Uh,
He was behind.
he was, man, making some phenomenal plays. Got Hollywood Brown involved. Pacheco looked like he was running the ball harder than he done done in the past. And the thing, man, they get Rice back this week too. So I mean, the defense out there was playing stellar. Although I still feel, I think, let me see, looking at my stat line. I think Mahomes was sacked 3 times, man. Uh, but hey, they look like a contender again, to be honest. And I hate, again, we like to always go that one each week, and I don't want to change it up. But I did. I expected more from the Lions. They was able to not stop Jameer Gibbs and Montgomery, but they was able to contain them where they weren't a factor in this game. And I mean, you really even hear nothing about St. Brown during this game. He was held McDuffie. He held St. Brown down in this game.
He did. He did. Jordan, start the clock, bring it down to 2.5 minutes. Uh, where was I surprised? I wasn't surprised with Patrick Mahomes' arm. I wasn't surprised with Kelsey being able to get some key plays during the game. I wasn't surprised with the offensive punch that the Kansas City Chiefs brought to the game. But what I was surprised with was Patrick Mahomes in the run game. We've all known that he can scoot down the sideline, making it look like he's the slowest, fastest quarterback in the history of the National Football League. Sometimes business decisions are made and he's not tackled, but he does not shy away from the hit when it does come. And I have noticed that throughout this regular season, that when he is running the ball, it is usually for a first down or close to the end zone and trying to punch it in. And he does not shy away from a hit. He doesn't slide very often to be one of the top 2 or top 3 quarterbacks in the National Football League in this year. So that aspect of it, I am a little surprised. As with every quarterback, you want him to be careful. You don't want him to get injured because he is the most critical piece for that particular team. And the Kansas City Chiefs are no different. I am surprised as to the lack of offensive efficiency from the Detroit Lions. You mentioned that St. Brown was nowhere to be found, not really having an impact. Gibbs and Montgomery didn't have the punch, the 1-2 punch that you would have expected because of what I mentioned earlier about the Kansas City defense and the struggles they've had thus far this season. Now, granted, all of their losses have come in one-score games. So, we're looking at their record saying that, okay, the Chiefs are 3-3. They may be back. They may still have some of that juice. And with Rice coming back that you mentioned after next week or after this week, right? It was a 6-game suspension, so he should be back their next game.
Yeah. He on my fantasy football. I held him. I got him starting, baby, because I know he coming back with a vengeance.
Man, I haven't even checked my fantasy results from.
No need to.
Did I lose?
I really I ain't pay attention. I lost.
Oh,
I'm surprised Troy ain't here bragging right now.
oh, so Troy won. Who did Troy play this weekend?
He played me.
Oh, so Troy got his revenge.
He
Okay,
finally got his revenge.
Troy done beat both of us. Okay, I feel you, Troy. You got to have some type of joy in your life, especially since the Raiders are doing what they do, even though they did win this weekend. So, man, you said that the Chiefs may be back. The jury is still out, at least for me. The Lions, okay, they lost to a good team. They should have won that game. They didn't play like they wanted to win the game, but we'll see what their plan is going forward here over the next few weeks because each one of these two teams have difficult games on their schedule. So, good game on Sunday night. Didn't end up like I thought it would, but congratulations to the Chiefs. This next one, man, the 49ers. coming into the season, it was supposed to be Brock Purdy leading this team to great and wonderful things. Then he got injured with the toe injury. In comes Mac Jones. And you did not have high expectations, at least I didn't, for Mac Jones and the San Francisco offense, especially since they taken a lot of early season injuries to key players. So you would expect them to take a seat back. But they came into Tampa Bay, didn't win. We knew Tampa Bay was good. We knew San Francisco was maybe playing just a little bit better than their record, or playing their record was a little bit better than what you actually think. Is this just a hiccup for the 49ers, or did Baker and the Buccaneers expose the 49ers, especially since they took another big injury on defense on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't think they exposed him, man. I just think the 49ers, and like I said on Friday, they wounded. I mean, Mac Jones was in there playing, wounded. I mean, he was hurt in the last game that he took his team down to one.
Mm-hmm.
But the Buccaneers just have a better team, man. On the defensive side of the ball, I knew that they really weren't going to be able to run the ball like they wanted to against Vita Vea and them up front. But man, that I would tell you that the surpriser for me, and I don't really want to say a surprise because I watched the kid at Ohio State, man. But Ibuka, man, he is one of those guys again taking advantage of the opportunity presented to him. With Mike Evans not playing, that kid is all over the field, man. Him and then the kid Ted Johnson. I mean, they look like a complete team, and they've been looking like a complete team all season.
Dare I say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just might be the best team in the National Football League? Is that a stretch? Is that going way out over my skis here?
Currently, based off of what 6 weeks of play,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a stretch, man. Because we only can go off of what we've been looking at, and they
No,
one of
you're
the
right,
most
man.
consistent teams in the league right now, and that's without Mike Evans and Godwin and some of their key players.
You're right. If Baker Mayfield wasn't on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he would probably be my second favorite quarterback in the National Football League because I absolutely love the way this kid plays, man. His aggressiveness, his tenacity, the never say quit attitude. I'm 6 foot nothing, 220 pounds, and I'm going to talk just as much smack as Aaron Donald would talk. I'm going to talk just as much smack as Jalen Carter talks. I'm going to talk just as much smack as any defensive lineman across the National Football League talks because I believe in myself. And Baker Mayfield has had the same approach to the game since his days at Oklahoma. And he just might be the MVP, which would be an astonishing feat for him. Being the Heisman Trophy winner, being the number one overall pick, and then having multiple stops in the NFL trying to find a home, which he obviously has with the Buccaneers. But he is leading this team, like you said, minus their top two receivers, minus other key injuries on that team, against quality teams. They've taken one L this entire year, and that was against the Philadelphia Eagles, right? And each one of their games, granted the first 2 or 3 were against substandard teams in comeback fashion, minus that opening game against Atlanta. But Tampa Bay is playing quality ball. You mentioned the rookie from Ohio State. He's only going to continue to get better. So I look forward to seeing what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can do. I am not pulling for them simply because they are a team that's in the NFC South. But I would not be surprised if the road to the Super Bowl goes through that Buccaneer ship down there in Tampa. So San Francisco, man, I think they're going to begin to succumb under the weight of injuries. They are 4-2. They had a phenomenal first quarter of the season, but those injuries are going to eventually catch up to them, and I believe that their number one option right now, which we all know is CMC, may be on the brink of suffering an injury that could sideline him for several weeks because they're going to have to lean on him. And we all know how, I won't say injury prone he is, but the abilities that he has, he is going to try to gash defenses both in the run and in the pass. And knee injuries or ankle injuries are just bound to happen. So attrition is going to eventually wear the 49ers down, in my opinion. Now, this next one, my man, this was a surprise, 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 like Goma Powell used to say once upon a time. It wasn't really a surprise, but many people did not believe that those hot Atlanta Hot Wings Falcons could actually defend home field on the big stage. I said it on Friday night that this could be their opportunity to put their stamp on the 2025 season. You have a national audience on Monday night against not only one of the better teams in the National Football League, but the reigning defending MVP of the National Football League. And everybody knows that Josh can move the ball up and down the field regardless of the defense that he is facing. But those Falcons, ladies and gentlemen, boy, I tell you, the NFC South is showing out, except for my Saints. Because all other three teams in the NFC South won this weekend, except for my Saints. But are you surprised? I know you're surprised because you never had faith in those Falcons. And I got to give the Falcons a special shout out once again, representing GA. Y'all did y'all thing this weekend. Surprised a whole lot of people, including the Buffalo Bills. You surprised as to how well Mr. Penix Jr. is managing this offense? I know you're going to run to one specific thing. Go.
Well, first of all, man, hey, Abuka is out now. Let me. I don't want to go back to the temp, but now Abuka out, so that now they got somebody else got to step up because that's three of their primary receivers that's still out right now, and I don't know
out for how long and for
what.
what.
They don't know right now. They waiting on the MRI. They don't think it's as serious, but he probably gonna be out at least one game at a minimum.
What is the extremity?
Looking at this right now, I think it was his knee. Yeah, severity of his hamstring.
Ooh.
So hamstrings, man. That that's ugly.
Ain't no more taking the cap off of the defense, bro.
Hey, you remember out there playing the last soldier up run, and you try to go out there pull off, man. You know what happened. I know I done pulled both of them, so that ain't an injury that you come back from. But I told you on Friday, the Bills' problem is they cannot stop the run. They have not been able to stop no team this season when it comes to running. Atlanta decided, and I don't know why it took them so long to start giving the ball to Bijan and make Bijan the primary, target within the offense in the passing as well as the running game. And because again, it's all about who you playing against and the formations and stuff. This was a game that was prime for Bijan to do what he do because of how Buffalo been playing all season and not being able to stop the run. As far as for Penix, man, yeah, I mean, I seen him. He was spitting the ball around too, man. I got to give it to him. With Bijan having the game that he had, it opened the game up for the receivers like London, man. London was all over that field too. I think London had over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown as well. Buffalo just looked. Buffalo, to be honest, another thing what Buffalo stopped doing, they stopped giving the ball to James Cook. Now, these teams that one of the reasons why Buffalo been here is their ability to run. James Cook had over 400-yard rushing, 400-yard rushing games this season. And then here it is, you only give the ball to him 17 times. You deserve to lose. It's like the Ravens not giving the ball to Derrick Henry. You deserve to lose. Atlanta, but the one thing, and I get off here, Drew, Atlanta's defense is what really shocked me. That Atlanta Falcon defense, it looked pretty good, brother. I mean, they had Josh Allen under duress the whole game. And he wasn't able to run around like he normally is.
No, you're absolutely right. And we mentioned on Friday night that the Atlanta Falcons are the 2025 version of the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Because you don't know what you're going to get with them, right? Like Forrest Gump said. Their defense did show up and shut down one of the best offenses in the National Football League. Whether it be because the Buffalo Bills decided to go away from the run game, even though Cook has had success all year, or they simply weren't focused on the run game in the second half because they were playing catch up. They went into the half down 21-7, should have been 28-7, and they were playing catch up the entire time. So Uh,
That was,
why did I log into Facebook today
why is that?
and I see brother Fred?
Oh yeah, you seen him in his Atlanta gear at the.
Dirty birds rise up, dirty birds rise up.
Hey,
Fred, you
did
an
you see
Atlanta
him on
fan now?
he got a video? Did you see him in the video with the hat on?
I saw it. Fred, you something else, bro. And what do you mean by fast horses run or horses that run fast don't run long? What team you referring to?
Well, hey, you know he now Hump is a Saints fan, man. That's your
Oh,
homeboy right there.
okay.
He
All right,
from
so
Nova.
hey, Hump, I guess you saying that the Saints are trotters and we gonna make that late season push, baby.
Man, Hump don't even believe. Hump don't believe that.
Yeah, it is what it is, bro. We knew this year coming in, we were rebuilding. But I am surprised as to how well the Falcons performed, as to how dominant they were on defense, and how ineffective the Baltimore Ravens were on offense as well. Now, also saw in the chat that people don't believe in Baltimore because they haven't really beaten a team with a winning
Well,
record.
The Bills haven't beat a team with a winning record.
Or yeah, so yeah, you're right. Because if you really want to look at it and splice it, you could compare the Baltimore, or not the Baltimore, the Buffalo Bills offense with the Dallas Cowboys offense. You could
There
also
you go.
compare the Buffalo Bills defense with the Dallas Cowboys defense and see similarities, right? Because neither one of them
Stop,
can stop the run.
Drew. Stop. They offense ain't nowhere near the Cowboys offense.
What?
They offense, go look at their numbers. They offense is no, you can't compare the Bills offense. Now the defense, I wouldn't even compare our defense is way worse than their defense. So I wouldn't even do that. But you can't compare the Bills offense to the Cowboys. The Cowboys offense has been way more efficient than the Bills offense this season. Go look at the numbers. Then come back and talk to me.
We gonna do that. We gonna look up the numbers and we gonna talk about the Bills offense and the Cowboys offense side by side on Friday night show, and I'm gonna prove to you why I said what I said for both
Okay,
the offense
okay.
and the defense.
The
Right?
defense is
Because
worse. My defense is by far the worst defense in several universes.
well, we all know that. I understand that you're 10 times worse than the Saints defense, and only one victory ahead of the Saints. By the way, we only got one. You got two. After six.
We got a tie.
Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, we're not going to talk about them this yet, but their NFC East division rival, those Washington Commanders, my man, welcomed in the Chicago Bears that created or generated one of the most exciting games of the 21st century, simply because of and I'm talking about last year's game, not this year's game, the phenomenal rookie season that Jaden Daniels had. But they welcomed Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears in to Landover, Maryland, to take on a Washington Commanders team that a lot of people are very high on, as long as Jaden Daniels and the other key playmakers on the team are healthy. I was surprised that the Chicago Bears won this game. Chicago has won 3 games in a row, ladies and gentlemen. 3 games in a row. The only team in the National Football League that has won all 3 games the past 3 weeks is Ben Johnson's philosophy finally taking root. Is Ben Johnson's approach to coaching Caleb Williams going to produce Chicago's first ever 4,000-yard passer and a winning season and possibly a playoff berth? Or was this just a mirage?
Hey, not so fast, my friend. Look, man, hey,
Uh,
hey, congratulations to my Bears fans. I mean, y'all finally got a win. Y'all been disappointed here lately. Y'all got a win. But I would tell you, man, turn those, especially that last fumble at
oh,
the end of the game, man. That hurt. That hurt big time. They got Jalen Danes to throw the ball away and give up an interception. They had 2 fumbles, but missed tackles, man. That one touchdown that Swift got, man. That missed
yeah,
tackles.
yeah,
You know, I don't think that I'm not counting the Commanders out yet because the Commanders are missing a lot of key players as far as on the offense side of the ball. So I think they still going to be good. We didn't talk about your boy last night. Lattimore normally is the one that we talk about the most because he's the one that normally get ate up, man. But there was a lot of missed tackles and turnovers over there for the Commanders. I'm
Yeah.
still not sold on Caleb Williams, man. Me
No,
personally,
you're right, man. You're right.
I'm
You're
not
right.
sold on Caleb Williams yet.
No, I mean, the Bears have definitely shown improvement. Ben Johnson is the right coach for the Bears. We'll talk about their former head coach here in a little bit. Uh,
Please, not.
and his current status. But Washington did give this game away because of the turnovers, right? And the poor tackling. You maybe want to attribute that to the rain and
But
heat.
they're at home though. They're at home.
I know, I know. I'm looking for an excuse, sir. No, the Commanders gave that game away. They were the better team, and they let one slip through their fingers. And this may come back to bite them as it pertains to
fumble the ball.
seeding in the playoffs later on in the season. So
You fumble the ball at the end of the game when all you got to do is just run the clock out, and you
yeah,
get the ball back to them and get them the opportunity to get in field goal range. And here's the
they weren't
irony.
that far off. They weren't that far off.
Here's the irony. Look who kicked the field goal. The same dude that was released from the 49ers because he couldn't kick. So Moody was released from the 49ers because of all his missed kicks. And so, they was over there shaking. And I guess they said it was not going to be a Hail Mary that was going to beat them this time. They ran
Right.
the clock down and kicked the field goal.
Exactly. Moody was on the practice squad when he woke up Monday morning. That's
Yeah.
that's how big of a kick that was last night. So congratulations to those Bears. Ben Johnson seems to have created a foundation where the Bears can build off of it for the remainder of this season and definitely going into 2026 and beyond. So we'll see what each one of these two teams look like after Thanksgiving or going into Thanksgiving, and whether or not they're both fighting for playoff positioning and or their division. Just saying, you never know what can happen and what shall happen because of injury. Now, this next game, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, how about them Cowboys, as Jimmy Johnson once famously said? Dallas went into the Carolina Panthers Stadium this weekend, and shout out to my homie brother Clarence. Happy birthday to you as well, my man. Another Alabama boy, die-hard Alabama Crimson Tide fan, die-hard Dallas Cowboys fan. I can tell you anything and everything about the last 50 years of the Dallas Cowboys and their success. And is the only, well, I won't say the only, because it seems to happen to only the Cowboys fans. They become emotional after every L and start destroying their own property.
Not me. It won't happen this time.
But Clarence is one of those dedicated fans. So I don't know if you actually made it to the game this weekend because they were in your neck of the woods. But Dallas went into Charlotte, ladies and gentlemen, and they were favored to win this game because they are the better team on paper. We all picked Dallas to win this game. We all were surprised. Some of us were shocked. Some of us were pleasantly surprised that Dallas took an L at the buzzer in walk-off fashion. Man, I love seeing these games where it comes down to the final 2 seconds. And teams either defend home field or they get their hearts broken and fans drive back home pissed off based on those last 2 seconds. Nothing like the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat all within 2 seconds. So, Griff, I know that this kind of pissed you off on Sunday afternoon, questioning why, when in reality, your defense can answer every single one of your questions, right? You said yourself your defense is not the best defense that Dallas has put on the field. I don't know. Maybe it got something to do with somebody they got rid of at the beginning of the year. But there's no way that you can legitimately compete for a playoff position with this defense. What is Dallas going to do? Y'all have a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I mean, you just talked about him. He was the previous coach of the team that beat the Commanders last night. Um, man, I'm trying to find one of those. I was befuddled. Like I'm trying to find one of your words. I was befuddled by this loss, man. But at the same time, man, big shout out to Rico Dow, man. I love when a Joker tells somebody they gonna do something, they do it.
Called his shot. He called his shot.
Yeah, man. Like Babe Ruth. So many people say what they gonna do and don't do it. But Rico Dow came in there this week and he did it. And he what he told them, buckle up. And I can tell you right now, we ain't have our seatbelts on. And Joker was getting thrown out the car left and right. This dude was able to, 183 yards on the ground, over 200 and some yards total from scrimmage. Because hell, he even got a 56-yard pass on us, man. I would tell you this, man, and I don't want to take nothing away from the Carolina Panthers because the Carolina Panthers is a much better team than the team in the past. They've improved it. This same team we was laughing at, but they done beat the Falcons. They done beat the Falcons that just beat the Buffalo Bills last night, and they look pretty impressive. Bryce Young's starting to look like he's settling in. The one thing I had a question about, but the one time my defense was able to stop to get the ball, maybe for us to possibly win the game, the play selection, man, that last drive after, after the Cowboys basically was still moving up and down the field like they wanted to on the offensive side of the ball, the play selection it befuddled me. And that's how the Carolina Panthers got the ball back and was able to kick a field goal to win the game, man. I don't want to hear nothing what Schottenheimer got to say. Something has to be done on the defensive side of the ball. If we that injured, then just tell me we that injured. Because I'm telling you, brother, it's 4th and 3. They go on 4th down, 3 yards, and you tell me that the DB plays 10 yards off the receiver? Come on, man. I mean, this zone, we've been playing zone all year. Maybe it's to try to help Bland and Diggs. They might be still hurt or whatever. But it's awful, bro. To have an offense doing what it's doing and to have that defense doing what it's doing, it is not complimentary football.
You're absolutely right. Now, to kind of dissect why Bland played 8 yards off when it was 4th and 3 that late in the game, it is because of how the defense has performed this entire season. It's in their heads at this point. Oh, yeah. Right? Because Bland is a quality cornerback. We know that. Diggs is a quality cornerback. We know it when healthy. Right? He can get burned, but he can also get off of that first step and have big plays. So that I kind of dismiss. Harold mentioned it in the chat. We have 32 teams. Every single one of these teams are professional football teams. Every single one of these 32 teams have quality playmakers on them. These are the best football players that we have in this world. They made it to the big show because they are good. So on any given Sunday, anything can happen and will happen. We see that week after week, no matter if it's the NCAA on Saturdays. We'll talk about that later, and games on Sundays, or what we saw last night. So no one is unbeatable. We all know that. We all know that on any given Sunday, anything can happen, and most often it does happen. Adrian mentioned that the L that Dallas took brought a slight smile to his face. Man, I'm going to tell you, I was showing all 22 of my teeth. That's
coming from. Hey, that's how Eagle fans do, man. I can't say
But it wasn't just an Eagles fan, right? It is, a lot of teams and people. Simply because
it's the Cowboys against everybody else.
Yep, that's what it was said earlier in the chat. Atlanta against everybody. Atlanta against the world. Cowboys against the world. We all think that everybody is against us, but when in reality, no one is against us. They're just for themselves. Oh, man. This is the last time we're going to be talking about this daggone team. They are unworthy of Roundtable airtime.
Tread lightly.
I know, right? The executive producer's going to pull the plug on us. They are unworthy of airtime from week 7 on. Sorry, Karen. Sorry, Jordan. But y'all have turned into a high school football team. For the life of me, if Lamar doesn't play, the rest of the 52 players on that team simply don't know what to do, it seems like. How we go from putting 40 points up in the first game of the year where there is no practice, no efficiency, to barely putting any points up 6 short weeks later, minus your quarterback. He is not The all are depending, the end all of your team is what I was trying to say. What is wrong with Baltimore? And is it time to start coaching changes, making coaching changes?
They off-season acquisition, man. I mean, Cooper Rush is not complimentary with this team, bro. That's the problem with this team. I mean, Huntley, I don't know. I don't understand why Huntley been with this team forever. He is I consider to be an adequate person to come behind Lamar with Lamar being hurt. Cooper Rush, he don't do it for this squad, brother. And I don't know. He got his money, he got his bag, or whatever you want to call it. But I was blew my mind when they got Cooper Rush over there to be the replacement for Lamar if he get hurt. I knew it was all down here. And here's the thing: the Rams beat the Rams beat them with Puka being hurt, man. Puka missed most of this game. Puka got hurt in this game, man. And they weren't the most efficient in this game. The Ravens just looked like they. I hate to say it, and I know I love Karen, and she's gonna be mad at it, but they look like they playing for a first round pick next year. That's what they look like they playing for. A first pick in the first round.
No, that is never going to.
I'm gonna tell you this right here. Harbaugh will he might make it to the end of the season, but it's gonna be some roster moves here. Watch what I tell you. Some roster moves here before the trade deadline. Watch and see what I tell you to help other teams. The Ravens is done for this season. You can go ahead and quote me on that. Lamar can come back. Lamar might as well just stay on the sideline and get healthy.
Well, Lamar is going to come back. They do have a bye week this week, so they've bought Lamar basically a month to recover from that.
Troy said they just lost the bye.
and they will make a a late season push, in my opinion. So I'm not going to completely write them off. They're 1-5 at this point. They almost have to go undefeated to be competitive in their division because Pittsburgh
a head start, man. They gave the Steelers got a head start. They ain't giving that up.
Got a 5-game lead on them, basically. Yeah. So I don't think that they can come back to catch the Steelers to win the division, but they can come back to slide into the playoffs and possibly make some noise there. Now, the absolute importance of Lamar Jackson is something that baffles the mind. You talked about Huntley being an adequate backup quarterback. Several years ago, that was the absolute intention of getting a backup quarterback, to have somebody that resembled your starting quarterback, because you completely formed this team around Lamar and Lamar's talents. So if and when Lamar goes down with an injury, we know that we have to have a backup who can step in and kind of perform in the same fashion that Lamar performs, has the run ability, has the escapability, has the 3-step drop that immediately is thrown on a rope to whatever the receiver you have in the route system. So why this team has completely gone away from that over the past several years, I don't know. Why they continue to not use Derrick Henry in the fashion that they are supposed to, I don't know. I'm telling you, you said John Harbaugh makes it to the end of the year. If they lose their next 2 games, the offensive coordinator definitely has to be fired. Definitely. The defense played okay in reality, but their offense is just crippled without Lamar Jackson. It has zero, and I do mean zero, creativity. And it is all about, we use Derrick Henry between the 20 and the 20, but when we get in the red zone, we try stuff that we are not comfortable doing. What are we doing tush pushing, Baltimore? Come on, y'all. All right, man. Enough about
that. Hey, they said that's what is imitation is what they say?
Greatest form of flattery. Yeah,
form of flattery. Yeah, they try to be like the Eagles. I'm surprised they ain't do 4 tush pushes in a row like the Eagles did.
With Cooper Rush as the quarterback, really? All right. Seattle traveling down to Duval County to take on a hot 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars team, fresh off of a big Monday night victory against Kansas City Chiefs, getting all of the fanfare over this past week. I thought they had something for Seattle, but Seattle made this game look not as close as it actually ended up being as pertains to the score. They were able to move up and down the field at will, it seems like. So McDonald and Darnold are doing some things up there in the great Northwest that is going to have Seattle right there in the end, jockeying for a key position in the playoffs. You impressed by Seattle thus far? Even though they've taken a couple of L's, those were quality L's against quality teams. Or was this one of those, they beat up on Jacksonville, who isn't really that good, even though their record says so?
Nah, I ain't gonna let Jacksonville slide because they record, man. Hey, there was a 4-1 team, like you said, and everybody
Mhm.
was popping them up. I told you what was gonna happen. I told you they was gonna lose in Duval. Man, I'm liking again the reemergence of Sam Donald with this squad with Smith and Jigga. Man, they look pretty good up there. But what was really the key factor in this game is the Seattle Seahawks' ability to get to Sunshine 7 times and put him down. They sacked Sunshine 7 times in this game. And hey, as much as offenses make people show up, they want to see people score. Defense win games, and I think that is the sticking point for the Seattle Seahawks this year. They defense that had them in basically every game, even the ones that they done lost. So they got an offense that can operate over there, it wasn't even a running game. It was really the defense and Sam Darnold's ability to get that ball down the field. I never thought the Jaguars had a chance in this game, and I said it on Friday.
I feel you. I agree. Seattle is going to be one of those teams that is going to be jockeying for not only the division title, but a key position in the playoffs. I see them actually looking very similar to what Sam Darnold did last week, last year in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Being that surprise team in the NFC this year, efficiently run, having a defense that is built on stopping the run, which is what they primarily are, which I believe made the difference in this game, along with those sacks that they imposed against. Uh,
Troy said Sam Don. I mean, Troy said
he sacked
he
himself.
sacked himself 7 times. That take talent.
Yeah, no, yeah, I understand that, but to be able to travel all the way from the state of Washington down to Florida to take on a hot 4-1 team, because they are a hot and 4-1 team in their house, and to come out of there with a well-earned victory, I got to give Seattle their props, and I look forward to seeing them here around Thanksgiving time to see where they are. All right, let us move on, man. Now this one, my guy, you know, the terrible towels, they usually are very boisterous, as are Cowboys fans when their team is doing good, right? And this is the quietest 5-1 Steelers led team I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
This is the quietest 5-1 Aaron Rodgers start to a season I have ever heard. Nobody is talking about Pittsburgh. Nobody is romanticizing as the job Aaron Rodgers is doing thus far. But yet, here we are, a quarter of the season down, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are right where they want to be. 5 games up on everybody else in the division. Because everybody else in the division is going through injuries, swapping out quarterbacks like they are changing their clothes,
Mm-hmm.
or having struggles just kickstarting their offense. But Mike Tomlin, and the standard is standing, and we just gonna keep on moving. And that defense is starting to come together a little bit, even with their injuries they're dealing with. Are you surprised as to how much success the Pittsburgh Steelers have been able to generate this season? Set aside their schedule. You play who's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
They're winning those games, right? And they're not getting blown out when they are in those tight games, right? That one game they lost. So, what is more surprising to you thus far this season? Aaron Rodgers and his health, or the success of the Pittsburgh Steelers as an organization?
I would say as an organization, man. I know we had Aaron Rodgers got hurt last year or the year before last, his first game with the Jets and stuff like that. But the guy is talented. People can say what they want about Aaron Rodgers. I've been on the receiving end of quite a few beatdowns in the last minute of Aaron Rodgers against my squad. So I got much respect for him. I like the way and he got him a big time receiver again, just like when he had Devontae Adams. Now he got Metcalf,
Right?
so dangerous. And then like we already talked about this division right here. He happened to be in a division where they don't have to make noise. They can sit back and chill because the division is killing themselves. When you sitting up there and you looking at the rate, the reason why we ain't heard about the Steelers because everybody been talking about the Ravens. And if
That's
they ain't
true.
talking about the Ravens, they talking about the third string quarterback back for the Browns.
That's true.
The third string quarterback and I'm a Shador. I want to see Shador start, man. But
He's
like
the second
I
string.
see so much. Well, the number two, yeah, he the number two guy now since they traded Flacco. But
Mm.
my thing is I love Shador. My thing is why does he get more airtime than the actual starter does when it comes to being on the mic and stuff like that? So the Browns is getting exactly what they deserve. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, hey, they've been cursed ever. I mean, it's what quarterbacks I feel like they go there to die anyway. But they've been cursed for a long time because everybody else when they leave, if they stay around, they thrive. Now Baker
Mm.
Mayfield is one of them. Sam Donald was there. All these guys go there. They look kind of bad, but then they go other places and thrive. So the Browns, they get what they deserve. The Steelers, they don't have to make a lot of noise this season because their division ain't even it ain't even no competition in their division this season.
Yeah, I agree. Now, the National Football League is the most popular sport in America. The face of the team is the quarterback. First, second, third, or fourth string, depending on how many quarterbacks you have on your team. We all know why Shadur Sanders gets more publications or media attention from the U.S. media than the starting quarterback. It's because he is the guy as it pertains to media, right? It's not because of Dylan Gabriel's capabilities or lack thereof. It's not because Shadur is a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel. No, it's because of the star power. We've always had star power in the National Football League, and it's always going to be the star power that drives ticket sales. Shadur Sanders has not taken an official NFL snap yet he has the highest selling jersey in the National Football League. Why is that? Star power. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers flying under the radar and just doing enough, not creating publicity is just what Mike Tomlin wants. Every other team within the division is going through their problems. Troy asked the question, how are the Steelers continuing to win? You play the team that's in front of you, and you just have to beat them on that particular day. And that's what they've done throughout this first 6 weeks of the season. So their schedule is going to pick up, but they still have to play their own division, and they are struggling. So Pittsburgh has the best situation of any division leader in the National Football League, and it begins or it continues on Thursday night because Thursday night football has a matchup between two AFC North rivals. The Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to Cincinnati to take on Joe Flacco. The 42-year-old Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Jamar gonna get his. We know Cincinnati's defense is like Dallas's defense, can't stop a nosebleed. Pittsburgh has an offense that has that breakaway receiver with DK Metcalf. You have a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers that still has that arm and can sling it anywhere on the field. Now, he does not have the escapability that he once had, but not going to need it. You're playing the Cincinnati Bengals defense.
And the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line. Come on, man. Let's keep it real. Man, I fear for Joe Flacco health in this game, man. I just do. This offensive line has never been good, man. And that's been a problem the whole time, brother. We're gonna
That
see what the Steelers are made out of. I don't want to get this game to them, but I just don't see the Steelers losing this game. But the three games they got after that, they play Green Bay, they play the Colts, and they play the Chargers. We'll see what the Steelers are really made of after how they come out of those three games.
I agree, but for this one, they better not lose because if they
Oh,
do lose, this will be that one game that will come back to haunt them at the end of the season when it comes down to seeding in the playoffs. You have to win the games that you are expected to win. Cincinnati is hobbled at every key position other than wide receiver. You can't run the ball if you don't have an offensive line like Griff just mentioned. You surely can't compete if you have a defense that cannot stop anyone on a consistent basis. Talking about coaches on the hot seat, President Zachary Taylor, you're not only on the hot seat, my guy. You're gonna be out the door at the end of this year. Lamar or Omar. Yeah, you're gonna be out the door this year, regardless of how this season ends. I think this is your last season as the Cincinnati head coach, and your struggles shall continue on Thursday night. I think we both got the Steelers winning this one. Um, Looking forward to it. It's going to be a interesting game for a little while, and uh, I think Joe Flacco does come out of this game healthy.
okay. I'm praying for him. I'm praying. I hope he do too, man.
I think he does come out of this game healthy,
Hey,
man. But
watch it. Them jokers licking their chops,
yeah, it was it was a great week 6 of NFL action. We just talked about the first game of week 7 and other big games that are coming up this weekend for the NFL. Looking forward to that. But man, what a Saturday in college football we had. Bama came this close to really breaking a whole lot of people's hearts, man, because we kind of knew that the Cowboys was going to do it. But y'all went into Columbia, Missouri, and beat a very good 14th ranked undefeated Missouri team. Over the past 3 weeks, the Alabama Crimson Tide have beaten the Georgia Bulldogs, the Vanderbilt Commodores, and the Missouri Tigers. All 3 of those teams were undefeated going into the Alabama game. I can no longer sit here and say that Coach DeBoer is on the hot seat. I can no longer sit here and say that the Alabama Crimson Tide are wishy-washy, other than that first L they took against Florida State, who has now looked like the Florida State we've come to know and love over the past couple of years after taking 3 L's themselves. But Alabama looks like a legitimate national championship caliber team. Are you liking what you're seeing from your Tide, even though this was a very tough SEC type of game where, as we can see from the score, Missouri did have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
If not for that late fourth quarter interception, Alabama could have been looking at another L. Now, before you give your commentary about Alabama, I wanted to ask you this question about the Missouri quarterback. Was it me, or did he look like he was playing out of sorts for a lot of that game where he didn't really know what was going on?
Not me, because I mean, honestly, he had our defense with their heel on their heels, man. I mean,
Okay.
Missouri. My fear going into this game is because Missouri had the 2 top runners in the league in college football right now.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, now we see why they really ain't played nobody. Let's just keep it real. But Alabama struggle against the run, and they struggle against running quarterbacks. That's what that. If you want to pinpoint where Alabama struggles at the most on the defensive side of the ball, they can't stop the run, and I ain't afraid to admit that. And they definitely struggle against running quarterbacks. And that guy, for the most part, I mean, they came out first. They hit us in the mouth first.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would say is the difference between this year Alabama Crimson Tide and last year Alabama Crimson Tide, they actually got a quarterback that can throw the ball, that knows how to read defenses and get the ball to people that he can.
Not like Jalen Milroe.
I mean, I like Jalen Milroe as a person, man, but as a quarterback, I'm just saying, Ty Simpson should have. And I said it last year. It's the same thing when Jalen Hurts was there in Tua, and they just had Jalen. They had Tua sitting on the sideline, and they had to wait to a national championship game when the receiver was just getting frustrated because Jalen Hurts couldn't get the ball to him, and then they put Tua in the game. Ty Simpson has always been that guy. Milroe has some beautiful legs. He can throw a long ball. But Ty Simpson can put that. And again, Drew, the person you talked about, my boy, but Ty Simpson is on right now is at the top of the Heisman Trophy race right now.
So I do recall making a comment about Ty Simpson not being a huge opposite of Jalen Milroe. And I actually paid attention to Ty Simpson this weekend. I actually looked at his stats, and I was utterly surprised. The amount of touchdown to interception ratio that this young man has. You do have yourself a legitimate quarterback, sir, which legitimizes Alabama. So I'm gonna have to eat those words and saying Ty Simpson isn't that guy, and he is a Heisman Trophy candidate. He is a front runner for the Heisman Trophy, and obviously he is still yet to prove his work because he has a whole boatload of big games left on his schedule. But if he leads Alabama to 11-1, 10-2,
yeah, we're gonna lose.
he would still be my guy, depending on how y'all perform.
Yeah, man. We got Tennessee this week, man. You know, Jerry Miller. I didn't look at the report because we did lose Jerry Miller in this game. It's probably one of his better games. Well, last week was against Vanderbilt is where he really shined, but then he didn't got hurt again. I just want to see us incorporate the run a little bit more, get them other running backs involved, man. But I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but damn it, Alabama look all right.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
First Saturday in November, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't Man, this one right here. I called it on Friday. I said that the home team is favored because they are the home team. They are the higher ranked team. They have the more talent on the team, more 5-star athletes, 4-star athletes, bigger name coach, more popularity, more experience, more speed. There is no way that Indiana can go into Eugene, Oregon and take a dub away from the Oregon Ducks. But daggone it, I just had a feeling, man, because that coach has done something to the culture down there in Hoosierville and produced a quality team that is straight about the grit and the grind of playing football. And they have that mentality that we can go anywhere and our defense shall travel. We can go anywhere and our offense has the ability to not only move the ball up and down the field, but to put enough points on the scoreboard to defeat our opponent. They've lost 2 games in the past 2 years. One was to Ohio State. One was to Penn State when Penn State was actually good. And I made the comment, Troy, I know you laughed at me. Don't be surprised if the Indiana Hoosiers are the 2025 Big Ten football champions come December the 15th. You surprised as to how good Indiana looked, or are you more surprised as to how poorly Oregon played?
I was actually more surprised on how poorly Oregon played, man. Indiana was the more physical team in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon, wasn't expecting them turnovers. They had turned. This game was still close all the way to the end. We got them interceptions at the back end was ugly, man. Indiana has a defense that was it bend, but it didn't break. I like the play of the running back. That's what they beat him at. They beat him in that daggone Hemby was running all up in Oregon chest.
He should was.
But like the Indiana coach said, if you don't know who he is, he said go Google him. Hey, another one from Nick Saban tree. Well, both of these coaches from Nick Saban tree.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you right, man. The only thing that's standing their way is Ohio State. That's it. I would love to see them two play each other.
Oh, they're gonna play each other. So that's gonna be the poll question for Friday night show, Jordan. Who is the better team right now between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Ohio State Buckeyes? I know Ohio State is ranked number 1, but other than the first game, they've been playing a bunch of high school teams all year. They haven't played anybody. Indiana's biggest game was this past weekend against Oregon, and they showed that they can travel into hostile territory against a nationally ranked powerhouse and beat them in their house. So the poll question for Friday night show: which team in the Big Ten is better right now? The Ohio State Buckeyes, number 1 ranked team in the country, or the number 3 ranked team, Indiana Hoosiers. I say the Hoosiers is the better team, simply
Mm.
because Ohio State hasn't shown why they are ranked number one. We just got them at number one simply because everybody else is beating up on each other and they haven't played anybody. And they have on their schedule one ranked team for the rest of the year. One ranked team for the rest of the year.
Mm.
Why are we talking about them as a national championship hopeful? I don't know. But I was impressed with the Indiana Hoosiers, and I'm looking for them to be right there playing for the Big Ten championship in December. They are definitely in my watch out for them
Mm.
category. Now,
Hey, hey,
Mr.
Drew, right fast, right fast. Jordan put the QR code up there for the question that you just asked. So I ask everybody to make sure you scan that QR code and give your vote so that we can have the results from that. And we'll talk about it on Friday as far as who we select or who y'all think is the better team in the Big Ten. But go ahead and scan that QR. Leave it up there just for a few more seconds there, Jordan.
While Jordan is still having the QR code on there, it only takes a brilliant mind to make sure that all of the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And that's why we have our own very own CBSA telling you what you need to do, right? Because if you don't know what's going on, you're going to miss something. Don't talk about it, be about it. By the cultural best-selling author Gary Griffin. So make sure that you scan that code. And if you go back and scan the code, answer the question. Haven't bought your book yet, make sure that you go to the appropriate uh, location that Griff will provide later and buy your copy of Don't Talk About It, Be About It by the soon-to-be NBSA, Eric Griffin. All right,
Yeah, let's get it.
Griff, you know, when I'm wrong, I like to kind of own up to it, right? And I've been giving Mr. Sanders, Mr. Michael Sanders, who so faithfully joins us and defends his Longhorns. I've been giving him the business for the majority of the season, simply because of the performance of the Texas Longhorns over the majority of the season,
Mm.
even when they win. And I came on here Friday night with my whole chest out saying that Texas was going to get skull drugged. Bruh, not only did they not get skull drugged, they shut down the number 6 ranked team in the country, destroyed the Red River rivalry hopeful dreams of the Boomer Sooner Oklahoma Sooners this year. Uh, Bragging rights for rival teams means more than playoff appearances sometimes. And this is no different than Alabama and Auburn. This is no different from any other intrastate rivalry. It just so happens that these two schools are next door neighbors based on location. And this is a historic rivalry. Texas won not only a big SEC game, not only did they beat their number one arch rival in the annual edition of the Red River rivalry, but they saved their season, in my opinion. They already have 2 early season L's, and we always say if you're going to lose, it's better to lose early in the season so you can make that up and have that late season push, and it depends on who you lose to. Were you surprised as to how Texas was able to shut down Oklahoma? And I got it, the quarterback for Oklahoma is still dealing with some negative effects of that injury and that surgery that he had a few weeks ago, and maybe just wasn't fully back, understood, but it wasn't that much of an impact for me because Texas came to play. And Bevo was handling business. Hook 'em horns. I got to give it to you, Mike. Hook 'em horns. You got it. Y'all won the big game, but you still got a whole lot of football left to be played. Can Texas ride this wave and make a late season push, or was this their moment in the sun and they're going to go off into the sunset later off this season?
Hey, Drew, can you hear me? Because my camera is not working right. I don't know what just it just went out on me. You can hear
Yeah,
me.
I can hear
So
you. I can hear you.
I would say this, man. I was totally shocked. I'm not even gonna lie. I was definitely shocked by the play of Oklahoma as far as the play of the quarterback. Texas defense was definitely able to put pressure on him and cause him. I think he threw 3 interceptions in this game. But
Mhm.
what I was more surprised of, not so much of Arch Manning's play, although he did throw a couple of dimes, but Texas finally found a running game. Wisner was out there, and that was the big for me. That was the big difference in this game because Arch didn't put up.
All right, we just lost Griff. I'm assuming that he was saying that Orange did not put up big numbers. Yes, he did not put up big numbers, but he is becoming more and more comfortable in the Sark offense. He is becoming more and more comfortable in the spotlight. He is becoming more and more comfortable with the expectations of the Longhorn quarterback. So Texas was going to be competitive for the rest of the season. Whether or not they are able to make it to the playoffs, time will tell. They have a whole boatload of big games on their schedule because we all know that the SEC schedule is packed with ranked team after ranked team after ranked team after ranked team for each one of these powerhouse teams in the conference for the remainder of the season. So, yeah, we got you back, Griff. Uh, so look for Texas to attempt to build off of this victory, but the sliding or the sledding doesn't become any easier for them. We shall see what they look like here in just 3 short weeks and whether or not they've taken another L. Now, obviously, my game of the weekend was the matchup between the South Carolina Gamecocks traveling down to Death Valley to take on my LSU Tigers. Troy, another L for you and your Gamecocks. Y'all haven't been, and I didn't know this. I did not know this. The history between the South Carolina Gamecocks and the LSU Tigers throughout their lifespan. Uh, LSU has a lead of somewhere around 30-2 as it pertains to the wins and the L's, and South Carolina hasn't won a game at Tiger Stadium since 1994. I thought that y'all had an opportunity to get that first victory this weekend simply because of the ability of the quarterback Sellers to use both his arm and his legs. And LSU, like you mentioned about your Alabama defense, has a problem with dual threat quarterbacks. And Sellers coming into this season was not only projected to be a Heisman hopeful, but he was projected to be the Heisman front runner. And on any given Saturday, he can torch you from both the arm and with the legs. He broke at least 25 tackles this weekend against the LSU defense. But the speed to the ball that the LSU defense showed is what was the biggest difference maker in this game. Gotta stop with those daggone turnovers, especially down in the red zone. Had 2 of them right there at the goal line, which were absolutely critical. And if this game was any tighter, LSU may have come out on the short end of the stick on this one. So got to clean that up. But for the first time this year, my quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, actually looked like he was bringing that heat like he was in 2024. I know that coming into the season, he was recovering from injury. But it seems like that off week, that bye week that LSU had last week, him not having the requirement to throw the ball did his arm some good. So kudos to them. What you got for South Carolina, man? What can they do to bounce back from this L that they took and come back in this year and have a push late?
I mean, honestly, man, I watched this game, man. I mean, it took all the energy out of me watching this game because I ain't see no stellar performances on either side of the
No,
ball.
you're right.
I know you said your quarterback looked like your quarterback. Yeah, he did throwing them interceptions. He looked just like your quarterback. I seen 2 teams that was neither one of them could stop the run. Both, I mean, I think South Carolina rushed for over 193 yards, and LSU rushed for over 106. They had like 163 yards. The difference is between the quarterbacks though, because LSU, I mean, the South Carolina wasn't able to pass the ball at all. And there was some turnovers within this game, man. But this
Yeah.
this this shouldn't have been no 7. This should have been a 1 o'clock. This should have been a 1 o'clock game. Alabama and Missouri should have been. They should, how they say, they should have flexed. Alabama and Missouri should have been the evening game.
Well, there is absolutely zero chance that any broadcast company, whether it be ABC, NBC, CBS, Tubi, UPN, CW, will flex an LSU night game to a 1 o'clock game, no matter who the opponent is. It is about the atmosphere, sir. You know that. You know that. Come on. Flex Columbia, Missouri to 7:30 instead of Baton Rouge? Man, arrête sata. All
Well,
right, man. You know better than that. Come on, Chief.
yeah,
Now, I mentioned a few minutes ago, before we started talking about college football, that there were a couple of big games in the National Football League this upcoming weekend that we were going to address. Detroit took an L against Kansas City on Sunday night. They have to turn right around and defend the 3-1-3 by welcoming in the hottest team in the National Football Conference and quite possibly the National Football League in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. What does Detroit have to do to bounce back and get back to Detroit type of football while trying to shut down what could quite possibly be the hottest quarterback in the National Football League right now?
I mean, they're gonna have to figure out. I mean, one, we got to find out what's going on with Ibuka and how long he's gonna be out. Because if that's the case, that's Ibuka, that's Godwin, and Evans out the game, which means now, not to say next man up, but he out there playing with some younger guys that's gonna have to step their game up, which means they're gonna have to rely heavily on the run. Detroit, they got to figure out how to get they guys going, get Gibbs and Montgomery back involved, and getting St. Brown and Laporte and Jameson. Jameson is the one that can peel the cap off. Detroit defense though, man, and plus they one of their best defenders with Brian Branch. He won't be playing in this game. He got suspended for a game for slapping Juju with an open hand. With an open hand.
I wonder what that was about. What was that?
I can tell you what it was about. He said what it was about. It was,
What was
he
it
just
about?
got to, again, because if you go look at it right before he do it, he give other people a high five on the opposing team. Something happened during that game because you're talking about Juju as a receiver and Branch is playing a DB. He playing in the secondary. So they had some choice words. He probably even hit Branch offside, and then he caught him off guard. Now he want to come and give him a high five after the game. And Brent said he said it was foolish what he did, but he said, he get tired of these jokers getting away with stuff and the referees don't say nothing, and then they get hit with the penalties and stuff. So, hey, other than getting spit in the face, the second worst thing you can do to a man is hit him in the face with an open hand.
He had his helmet on, so that don't really count.
That's still disrespectful.
Yeah, because Juju had his hand out talking about nice game, my guy. But no, this is going to be one of those games where you focus heavily on the run if you are the Detroit Lions. You make sure that you have a heavy dose of both Gibbs and Montgomery in the first half to wear down that Tampa Bay defense. And you open it up in the second half to kind of separate yourself if you are the Detroit Lions. And depending on what type of weaponry that Tampa Bay team shows up with in Detroit, and this could be a competitive game, or this could be one of those games where you just dismiss as, okay, well, they took that L because of the amount of injuries that they have. But Tampa Bay has shown us all throughout this season that they play for 60 minutes, regardless of whether or not we have star power on the field, difference makers on the field, or we are playing just with a patched up team. We're going to play for 60 minutes, and we're going to see where we are at the end of those 60 minutes. So I'm looking for an interesting game between these two teams. But early on, I will look for Dan Campbell to have an offensive approach to where we are, like Griff says, run the ball. It's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to that one. Now, this next game I want to touch on before we close out for the night is a get-right game for a whole lot of reasons. The Eagles have taken 2 straight L's, as is the Buffalo Bills, where every single question about the offensive efficiency of the Philadelphia Eagles, who just so happen to be the defending Super Bowl champs, can they fix it? Can they get right? Can they get back to their winning ways? Or are they going to be one of those teams that take 3 straight L's and then the discussion really expands as to what is going on with the Eagles? No one is impressed with the Minnesota Vikings. Carson Wentz, JJ McCarthy, if he comes back, But they are playing in Minnesota, where Skull is going to have an impact. So, what does Philly have to do? And I know Saquon has been on vacation, but somebody needs to let him know that the season has actually started. Can they establish a run game against this very good Minnesota defense that has a pretty good run stop defense? Or will they need to open it up and have Jalen be throwing it to Devontae and to AJ Brown and to Dallas Goedert and to Saquon out of the backfield to give Philly a chance? What do you want to see from the Eagles this weekend?
I do want to see the Eagles get Saquon more involved, man. I just watched the documentary on Saquon flying back from Vegas this weekend, man. It was kind of awesome. But again, you know what happens when they do these documentaries or they get on the front of the Madden cover, then it's all down here from there. Because I ain't talk about this about Josh Allen earlier. I was looking at both of the games last night, and every time they went to commercial, it was a Josh Allen commercial. And I'm like, this joker he getting all these endorsements on here getting blowed out. Same
Hey,
thing.
the MVP, baby.
And look, they got Saquon on the cover of Madden when he hopping over somebody and stuff like that. And then he got his documentary on showing, how he was traded and then how he was able to go to the Eagles and win the Super Bowl. And now here it is, Act 2. And yeah, he has not performed the way we was expecting him. We thought we was going to see something different. So I think for the Eagles, they definitely got to figure out a way how to get Saquon involved. But at the same time, that defense need to bring it. I mean, you playing against Carson Wentz, man. We know all you gotta do is get a little pressure on him, and he'll give you the ball. He'll make some errors, man. They can't go into the Eagles cannot afford to go to Minnesota and lose this game.
Can Minnesota afford to lose this game is the question.
I mean, but ain't nobody really expecting Minnesota to win. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, the Minnesota that we saw last year, yeah, Sam Darnold was there, but I really wasn't expecting them to be a team that we was going to be talking about, at the back end of the season because I told you, they was going to go as far as JJ, and JJ hadn't showed. He still looked like a rookie quarterback to me, and now he hurt, and you got Carson Wentz in there. So I don't see it. That defense. People been moving on that. That defense don't look as dangerous. We talk about the Brian Flores defense, but that Brian Flores defense ain't been really shutting teams down this year. So I need the Eagles to come in there, and I need to see Saquon perform, and I need to see that defense play probably the best game they done played all season because they really have had their back up against the wall, even with the Cowboys. The only reason why they beat the Cowboys is because the Cowboys don't have a defense. Just think about it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And if the Eagles lose this game, I don't know who wins the NFC East.
Man, it went from like the Eagles and the Commanders being on top to now it's hey.
Anybody.
It'll be shocked we be talking about Dart and Scatterboo at the end of the season. They the NFC East champions, man. Because Scatterboo read this ball this weekend like a grown man on the meeting.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So if the Eagles, they need this one. And as smooth as Jalen Hurts is as the other side of the pillow, as Stuart Scott, the late great Stuart Scott used to say, you don't win. God bless you. If you don't win this one, a lot of questions are going to be asked, and you can't talk your way out of it. Talking about we need to fix it. Y'all need to come up and put at least 30 on the scoreboard this weekend, in my opinion, to silence the outside noise, knowing that you don't care about it, but still, y'all need to answer questions. The last ranked offense in the National Football League. Your point.
I need to see. Look, Drew, I need to see more than 4 tush pushes in a row. That's what I need.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Less social offensive vision, right? So we shall see. I'm looking forward to it. We talk about it on Friday, and break it down and make our picks. Phenomenal show. Man, we know that the Giants are not going to win the NFC East. Stop. Griff, after week 6 of the NFL, after week 7 of the NCAA, we have 10 SEC teams ranked in the AP poll. We are really going to start seeing separation because all of these teams have to play each other over the next calendar month in one way or another. And just because I beat your opponents or your team's opponent last week, that doesn't give me a leg up on you, right? Because we all know how that works. I beat you, you beat him, I lose to him in the SEC, and I'm looking forward to see how that turns out. Definitely looking forward to the first Saturday in November so that we can settle this discussion that you and I have been having over the past calendar year. You got any parting words for the roundtable audience before we depart for the evening?
Hey man, good. This has been a good football season, bro. I can't even. I mean, we say it almost every year, but it just seems like it just get better and better, man. I'm looking forward to the remainder of the season. I do have one ask of the roundtable crew because many of y'all have bought my book. I need y'all to go on Amazon and do a review of this book because this is how we get it out there even more. But I do really, especially if the book did something for you, I need you to go on Amazon and just give me. I know it's a huge ask, but I'm asking you, my roundtable crew, to go on there and do a review. I would truly appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Y'all keep on doing what y'all doing, and I look forward to seeing everybody back here on Friday so we can make them picks for the weekend.
Yes, sir. And as Griff said, make sure you get out there and get your copy of Don't Talk About It, Be About It. Don't cost that much, just a couple cups of coffee, depending for those of you that drink caffeine or a drive-through meal. So it is definitely an affordable item to pick up. Good nuggets to put in your rucksack, and let's make sure that we get this CBSA transition from his current title to his new title of NBSA here in the upcoming calendar months. Great little Christmas gift for any one of your loved ones that you want to help in any capacity that you can. So y'all get out there and get that book and support my brother in his efforts to spread love in this world. You're right, man. This football season has not disappointed because on any given Saturday, we haven't talked about high school football, but Friday and Sunday, anything can and does happen. I am absolutely overjoyed as to the amount of games that are coming down to the last second, both in the college football world and in the NFL. And we know that just as much as we celebrate those victories, those teams that are taking those L's, it's costing both their fan bases happiness and joy, but also costing head coaches their jobs. And several key positions have come open after this weekend's results, both on the college level and on the NFL level.
I wish I was James Franklin. Give me
Hey,
that. Give me that 50 million, baby. I go and watch the rest of the football season from the side.
I mean, it's the norm now, right? These buyout clauses for these big name coaches at these big name schools, they have that parachute clause in their contract where I'm going to get paid regardless of whether or not I am here on the sideline on Saturday or chilling at the house wherever I may choose to live. It is what it is. Cost of doing business. We all knew that James Franklin was going to lose that job eventually, but we did not think he was going to lose 3 straight games to cause that, as well as the coach in Tennessee who got rid of one coach to hire another coach to get rid of him. Uh, and that coach that you got rid of is just so happening coming back this weekend to play you. The New England Patriots are playing the Tennessee Titans this weekend, who don't have a head coach. So too many to go through, but man, I tell you, uh, you have to prepare, is what the message is. You cannot assume just because I have more talent, I'm going to outperform you because we all know effort beats talent 99.999% of the time. And just because you have the bigger name, just because you have the 5-star athlete, doesn't mean you're going to win. Indiana proved that this weekend by going into Oregon and hanging that L on those Ducks. So show up, put your chin strap on, buckle up, as Mr. Doodle told the Cowboys, but they apparently didn't want to buckle up. They wanted to hang their head out the window and say, we got this, but they took a fresh L back to Alice, Texas this week.
Rat poison. Rat poison.
Rat poison, as Nick Saban would say. Man, y'all have a phenomenal week. It's going to be a busy week for a lot of us. Continued prayers for all those that are being affected in whatever capacity based on the activities and the actions that are happening in this country at this time, whether it's associated with your employment, regardless of whether or not you're in private industry or in government services. Prayers for you and your family as we approach the holiday time frame, that all of this works itself out and everything is done in a manner that is best for the country as a whole. Y'all continue to keep your head on the swivel, though, at all times, because we don't know what is around the corner. Please ensure that you are taking care of yourselves. Drink water, as any good drill sergeant would tell service members and the community in general. Drink water. Take care of yourselves. Do something nice for yourselves. Take care of your family. Do something nice for your family. And if given the opportunity, please do something nice for someone that you may not even know, because it just might be the best thing that happens to them on that particular day. We'll see y'all back here on Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Take care. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be breezy. Obviously, I said at the very top of the show that my upset of the NFL week was the Kansas City Chiefs against the Detroit Lions. Even though that they're playing in Kansas City, the Detroit Lions should win that game. Griff's upset of the week would be if the Carolina Panthers were to beat his Dallas Cowboys. It would be very surprising to a whole lot of people, not only disappointing to him and the Cowboys fans, which actually will kind of weigh itself out because, many Cowboys non-fans would only take a little bit of enjoyment in that L. So those are the two upsets of the week.